This week's Extra Life on F5 Live Refreshing Technology is proudly powered by EXA. EXA brings the latest technology to gamers, offering the most immersive products for the ultimate gaming experience. They've compiled the best elements of cutting-edge ENC tech, the latest in Bluetooth 5.0 and 7.1 surround, plus extra features into their headsets so everyone can enjoy a sensational gaming experience. And they've got headsets for Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC. Plus, they won't break the bank. Learn more about the headsets that are available and any current promotions by going to f5live.tv/exa. So in case you haven't heard, E3 2023 is dead. I think this was an inevitability that most of us saw coming from the beginning. Once we heard that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony were not participating in any way, it was pretty clear that that was going to be the end of it. Then game studios, including Sega, all started saying, no thanks. And so the ESA has officially canceled E3 2023. But that's not the story. The story is, it's probably the end of E3. We've been predicting for years that E3's end was imminent. The ESA and the people they had running the actual event seemed less interested in its purpose than their own personal fame and glory. And as such, the event was chaotic. From year to year, we didn't know what the event was going to look like. We didn't know who was going to be allowed in. Credentialing was weird. Every year it was different, very different from a show like CES where the credentialing is set and, if you've been credentialed before, you're probably easy to get a badge again. Not the case with E3 because, again, I don't think they cared about the event. I think they cared about the notoriety. Last year, the organization teamed up with ReedPop that owns a lot of things, including here. If you've been a longtime fan of PLUGHITZ Live, you may remember Florida SuperCon. They purchased SuperCon a couple of years ago, which was weird because I once flew from E3 to SuperCon, which so a weird pairing of things to be owned by the same organization. But when they announced the dates for 2023, their Facebook header had three things in it: the E3 logo, the dates, and the ReedPop logo. Now, the ReedPop logo had been there for a little while since they announced the relationship. When they announced the cancellation of 2023, two things came off the Facebook header: the dates and the ReedPop logo. So I suspect that there's something else happening internally. There was more reason why people were pulling out, and it's possible that ReedPop has also pulled out at this point, and they will not be producing future events. Now, the organization specifies that they will, but, we know how that stuff goes. They said that the ESA and ReedPop will be partnering for future E3 events, but my guess is they have not confirmed that they're even going to try for 2024. And my suspicion is that E3 as we know it, E3 as we knew it has been dead for about 7 or 8 years. But E3 as we even knew it recently as an industry event is over. It might become something like the virtual show that we saw the 2 years, 2020 and 2021. I guess it happened in 2022 as well. Maybe it'll go more virtual or something like that. I don't know. But I don't suspect that this show, as it has existed, will exist anymore.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, I've heard so many complaints about E3 over the years. I work with so many people who have. See, the dog doesn't like it either.
Yeah, he's a smart dog.
Yeah, I've heard so many complaints. I've never been. I'm not a big don't do any gaming coverage. Don't Not a big game person, but I have sent people there. Uh, it's never been a great show for technology. Um, I mean, yes, game people loved the idea of going to a game show, and that was at one time a big show. But I guess it can be over now. I mean, it's now maybe what they need is, since E3 is sort of an industry show, maybe what they need is something the equivalent of Comic Con uh, for video games,
PAX.
where yeah, but PAX is, I mean, PAX doesn't isn't that hasn't been that big a deal in a while, has it?
No, but PAX was who was stealing the thunder from E3 for a number of years, because after E3 said we were going to crack down on credentialing, and they went too far the other direction, they started to lose people who were, there. For those who don't know, there was a certain point in time where E3 was really popular with the masses, not because the coverage from it was great, but because if you set up, gamereviews.geocities.com, you could get credentialed to go to the show. It was you didn't even have to have a domain. So it was really easy to go. So people got to go. They went. And they stood in 2.5-hour lines to play a 3.5-minute demo of a game that wouldn't come out for 4 years, which I didn't find all that enticing the year that we went with Cherie, however long ago
Yeah,
that was. But then they said, no, we're not doing that anymore. It's no longer open to the public. Well, it was never technically open to the public. You just sucked at credentialing. It's no longer open to the public. We're going back to just an industry show. And then nobody could get in. It was even people that worked for mainline publications couldn't get in. So they totally lost their credibility. People started to go to PAX, including the publishers. It was more interesting. And then whatever happened to PAX happened to PAX. I don't know there. But at least that was a fun show where you could actually go play the games.
I mean, whether there's a need for people to, I mean, obviously people would like to play the games. I think what they should do is they should try to figure out. I mean, obviously, it, San Diego Comic Con probably cannot be matched, but could there be a video game event like that, or could they just sort of attach some video game launches to something like New York or San Diego Comic Con? Because
Here's the thing. They don't even have to really do that anymore, right? Because they can deploy directly to consoles with their betas. They can partner with places like Best Buy, which is what Sony has done for a number of years. If you don't want to publish the beta or the demo to a store, you can push it to Best Buy. And Best Buy teamed up with Sony, and they had these experiences during the E3 that Sony didn't attend. You could go into a Best Buy and play the games that they announced at their event that wasn't officially part of E3. There's all kinds of ways to get game demos into everybody's hands. Sure, put them into the journalists' hands a day or two early so they can write about them. Whatever, don't care. But it's super easy to put them into the wild to replicate what people thought they had lost when E3 closed to the public. And that's what they do. Microsoft has their events. Nintendo has their Nintendo Direct. PlayStation has their events. And what happens? The demos hit the Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation stores during the presentation. Speaking of, apparently I just triggered an Xbox in another room by saying its name. That was interesting. I just heard one turn on. I don't know. You can't do that with hardware. So things like CES or what's the one that Computex, right? You can't download the hardware into somebody's hands to see how a watch fits or things like that. But you can do it with a game. It's real easy.
Yep.
I do game.
No doubt.
I get 35 to 40 game review pitches a week. We're like, here, we'll send you the thing. I just don't think an event like that needs to exist anymore in reality. They do their
Probably does
online
not.
things, they give you the game, you move on with your day.
Yep, probably does not.
So, my guess is, and now I've been saying it a little bitterly because of our annoyance with our actual experience at E3, but I've been predicting for years, since before you were sitting in second chair for this show. We've been predicting.
Well, then it
That
took its
E3's
time.
It did,
It
and
took its time.
COVID was the death blow, for sure. That was the thing that made everybody realize, oh wait, the experience of watching these online is exactly the same whether it's from the Staples Center in Los Angeles or from Nintendo's headquarters. Oh, well, that's interesting. In fact, a pre-recorded event from Nintendo HQ is better than going to the Staples Center because I don't have to try and park. I'll just watch it online. This is easier. And then they're going to put the games on my Switch at the end of the thing. I don't have to go throw elbows in a room on the side of the Staples Center to put my hands on a Switch when there's one in my backpack already. It's just, its time has come, and I will not miss it. I think the new experience is way better than the old was. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to PLUGHITZLive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.